I'm Anitra Terrell, owner of Reflection Design, Afro-modern home decor. And I'm passionate about telling the stories of how we express joy at home using the art and textiles of our roots. So join me as I take a closer look at the lives and homes of men and women across the African diaspora. This is how we live.
Hi, I'm Anitra Terrell with ReflectionDesign.com, and this is How We Live, the show that celebrates the lives and homes of people across the African diaspora. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Maria Resto, a Chicago-based art collector and world traveler. In this episode, you'll learn how to decorate with a global eclectic style and how to shop for art while traveling. Plus, you'll get some decorating tips you can incorporate today. So, let's get into it.
Good. It's so great to talk with you. I came across your Instagram profile and I was instantly drawn in by all of the beautiful, eclectic pieces of art and decor that you have in your home. So it was clear to me that you are an avid traveler, which I love. And so a lot of people love traveling, but they're not really sure how to incorporate those kinds of pieces into their home decor. So I had to have you on the show so that we could talk more about that.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm still pinching myself. Thank you.
Of course. So let's get right into it. Tell us about who you are and your home.
My name is Maria Resto, and I was born in Puerto Rico. And I came to Chicago when I was 7 years old, and I've lived here ever since. I live with my husband in a 1,200 square foot townhome. And it's been like over 24 years that I've lived here. And when I think I started getting into interior design like when I was a teenager. And then when in my late 20s, I got hit by the travel bug and I started traveling to different countries. And I started just really taking in everything, all the handcrafted items and things. And of course, I had to bring some home. And so I started doing that. And but then quickly I realized, what I could bring home and what I should definitely like buy here, because some of it is kind of expensive and you got to wait for shipping and all these things. So I would make sure that it would be things that I could like put in my suitcase and bring home. And at that point, even before that point, I knew that when I bought this home, which is a cookie cutter townhome, I knew that I wanted to put my mark on it. And I knew that I wanted it to be worldly. I wanted a global look. I knew it from the get-go. I knew that I wanted to be able to be in my house and relive my experiences and just remember my trips, and also just display other things that are like other trips that I want to take. And so I've been able to do that. And that's something that has never left me. I have always wanted my home to be global. So.
Now, you mentioned several keywords that I love there, but I'll let you use the exact word. How would you describe your decorating style in 3 words, and who or what influenced that style?
Definitely collected, global, eclectic. And what has inspired it is definitely my travels, but also I would say my background. Being Puerto Rican, us Puerto Ricans have like a heritage of, we have 3 bloods and 3 bloodlines, right? We have the indigenous Taino, we have the Spaniard, and we have the African. So I can say for sure that the African has pulled heavily for me because I am drawn to everything African. But it was my goal in decorating to do it global. But right now, I would say African is winning. But I do mix it up. I do mix it up. So, yeah.
I love that. It's you mentioned having 3 bloodlines, but one pulls, you're saying the African
heavily
pulls on you the most.
Yes.
That's so interesting.
Yes.
Now, because you travel so much, and you kind of touched on it when you said you had to figure out what to pack, what not to pack, or what to ship and what you really shouldn't ship. when you are traveling and you're thinking you find things that you would love to have in your home, what types of pieces do you look for, and what are the best types of pieces that you can actually bring back with you?
One of the top, I would say, is textiles. I love textiles.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
textiles are so easy to just squish in there in your suitcase. So that's something that I'm really drawn towards. But of course, also, I love sculptures and love masks, but masks are a little bit different. I like to get my mask from vendors. I actually have two friends that have shops, and
Mm.
I buy from them as well. But uh, sculptures are something that I love. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you could see it. The sculpture right here. I brought that.
Yes,
You see
yes.
it? That I brought that from the Dominican Republic. So I I made sure to wrap him up real good so he wouldn't break. And he's awesome. He was made he's a Taino. So that's the cool part that we
Mm.
share, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, we share that. We both had the Taino indigenous roots. So he's made out of one piece of wood that is indigenous to the Dominican Republic. It's called Guayacan. So
Mm.
he's one of my awesomest piece. So he I brought,
Yes.
and textiles are just easier to pack. I love textiles. So if I see a textile I love, I'm in trouble. 'Cause I love.
You and I both. You and I. Usually, when I'm asked that question, I say the same thing all day: fabrics, textiles.
Yes,
Give me all the things
yes.
because they're versatile too. You can bring them
Oh,
back
you
and you
can do
can
so
make
much
something
with them.
else with it. Yeah, you can hang it on the wall.
Yes.
There's a lot you can do with it.
Yes, you can do so much with them. I absolutely love textiles, and I'm always trying to think of a new way to use them, some unusual way, or I just love them, and I love what they do for decor. You can literally like build your room around one textile or a textile, and use the colors and just or the style and just go off of that, and that's what I love to do. And I tinker a lot. I switch things a lot. So I have that collection of
Mm.
textiles that I dig into. And then when I feel like it, I change something and then I go with that. So
Now, you mentioned you have art from Dominican Republic, Africa. I'm sure a lot of other countries, which we'll get into.
yes.
Hearing that, some might think, well, that could start to look really cluttered when you have all these different cultures and all these different patterns. How do you keep it cultural and diverse, but also still have it look stylish? What are some tips for people who are interested in decorating with different cultures but don't want it to look like a jumbled mess?
Yes, I can understand that. For me, the way it works is that you have to find kind of like a, a through line, something that connects everything. And usually color is the easiest way to do it. And also, I have to say, African decor to me is the easiest to integrate into possibly any style because it's neutral. A lot of
Mm.
it is neutral. There's some that's colorful, and so you can pick. If you're a minimalist and you don't do color, then you don't pick the color ones. You pick the more
Right.
textury things. So to me, African decor is just awesome. It fits in anywhere. I just love using it. So I think that color is the number one thing that helps you put it together so that it doesn't look like a jumbled mess. It's almost like you have to have, you know, like there's an example of I have a vignette on a table in my living room, and that one is kind of a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'm looking at it right now. It has these colors, right? It has a black mask, or not mask. I'm sorry, a sculpture, um, and on the other side it has a black vase, and then it has uh, a basket. The basket is kind of ivory color, and so I use these
Mm.
books to elevate this bowl that I have, and the books have brown and caramel and tan, and those colors are in everything. They're in the basket. They're in vase and the
Ah,
sculpture in the other vase. So it ties it all together. Then talking about textiles, just recently my husband came home with like 5 mud cloths. I was like, I
what?
love him.
He's a
He came home with
keeper. He
five
is
mud.
a keeper.
So one of the mud cloths, I thought, wow, this mud cloth is perfect. I put it on the table and it was like it was meant to be. It literally
Um,
tied everything together. I think of the textile almost like a rug. The way you would use a rug
mhm.
to anchor the
Right.
space. I love putting textile on tables because it's almost like a rug. It ties everything
Mm.
together. And it brings in texture and it brings in color. And that one in particular was just like it was meant to be. I just put it there. I'm like, it was just fantastic. So
Now, do you have a background in interior design, or how did you
I
acquire the
just
skills?
I just love interior design and devour everything. Books, magazines, blogs, podcasts, you name it. I devour it. I absolutely love it. I did work in interior design before briefly. Um but I don't have a degree or anything. I just absolutely love it. And so I learn as much as I can every which way.
Well, that's a good point. A lot of people feel intimidated when it comes to decorating their home, but there's so much inspiration in books and in magazines, and even to the point of our conversation, in your travels.
Yes.
As you go to different countries, take a look at how people live there. Take a look at the restaurants you go to. How are the restaurants decorated? How is your hotel room decorated?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
draw inspiration. Go to the museums in
Mhm.
those countries and see
Absolutely.
what's the art that's
Yes.
on display, and places where you least expect to find decorative inspiration. It's actually there. Like I said, coffee
Exactly.
shops, restaurants,
Exactly.
clothing stores.
Yes.
Kind of look at the landscape, nature.
Absolutely.
Now,
There's a saying that says that the world is the book, right? And if you don't travel, you've only read one page. That is
mm,
so true. When you travel, it really opens your eyes. One of the things that I love about traveling is that I feel like a child. I feel like I'm seeing through new eyes because everything is new, everything is different. But yet at one point you realize, well, yes, they speak different languages, they dress differently, there's different traditions, different customs, so forth and so on, right? But we all have one thing, we all have humanity in common. We all have to sleep, we all eat, we all have family, we all have friends, we all need community, love. I mean, it's like when it gets
yeah,
down to it, we're all humanity. What makes it beautiful are those differences. Those differences are so
yes,
awesome to me.
yes,
And you notice them when you when you travel, your eyes are like open to all of that. You see it very fresh. And so yes, you're right. When I travel, my eyes are just it's just a feast for the eyes. I just pick up everything. I really do. I pick up what they're doing, with I don't know, with a particular uh thing on the wall, and I literally bring it home and I'm inspired and I do it, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So
now, if viewers are watching and they're thinking, well, I can't travel right now, or it may be some time before I can travel, what are some ways that you can create a global, well traveled look in your home without the passport,
Oh,
without
there's so
traveling?
many ways, so many ways. You are one of them. They're
Oh,
wonderful vendors who are bringing the most beautiful, incredible things, and all you have to do is just seek them out and bring that home. I mean, that's a lot of what I do. I mean, yes, some of the things I brought from my travels, but a lot of the things are also from vendors. Like I said, I have two friends that have shops, so I shop with them, and I also keep my eyes open everywhere. I mean, I I had a friend who used to tell me that I didn't find things; things found me.
mm,
I don't know how it happens, but it happens.
that's true. That's true. And I think it kind of ties to my next question is, um, why you thought it was important to incorporate African decor and decor from the many different places that you've traveled. Walk us through really quickly. You said you have one piece behind you from the Dominican Republic. What are some other pieces in your home that you've gotten, and where did you get them from? And why was it important for you to have all these different pieces?
Oh, what a question! That question. Oh, it's like I want it all. I don't know. The one thing that I would say is that I have a rule, and the rule is that I have to have a visceral reaction to the item. It has to be like, or it has to be like my heart jumps a little bit. I'm serious.
Right.
Because if I love it, it's going to be with me for a really long time, and I'm not going to get tired of it. And that's happened in almost every country. Like I said, like textiles. Right beside me is a puppet that I brought from Thailand, and it's gorgeous. It's just like what it is that it's exquisite, and it's the handcrafted. I mean, the beads and it's just amazing, and it's just amazing to look at, and I love displaying it. So it's here next to me in the corner, and I love when it peeps out and I'm taking pictures and it's in the corner. But so many items. A friend of mine who owns a shop, I bought this helmet from her. The helmet is on top of a long bookcase that I have, and it has beads, and it has money coins, like coins around it, and then it has a feather top, and it's just a stunning piece, just stunning. And then there's juju hats. I have one above me, but you can't see it. But juju hats, everyone just always, people who don't know about juju hats, they're always like, what is that? It's an amazing. I mean, these things they're handcrafted. They're texture. They add texture and color, and I mean, it's just when you see something that it was made by hand. The sculptures, especially, they just, I don't know. I sometimes just look at them, like every little etching, how they were made. Yeah. They etched them in the back sometimes, and it's just a detail. And I appreciate all of that. I see all of it and I see the beauty of every culture. Every culture has its own way of doing it. In my bookcase to my side, I have this tray with all these brass pictures, right? And I looked at it and I thought, oh, it's beautiful, but something's missing. And so I had these two sculptures that are black. They're beautiful. They're mid-sized. They're not too big. And I thought this is perfect beside it because the brass is very shiny, very polished, right? Very, very shiny. And the items, the two sculptures, are handcrafted. They're a little more raw. They're a little more rough. They're a little more, they have more texture. So then there's the juxtaposition between, the smooth of the brass, yeah, and then the statues that are a little rougher, a little more. And the other interesting thing about those two statues is that one is from Thailand and one is from Africa. And you would not be able to tell that.
Interesting.
You would not be able to tell that. You would think, oh, that's an African statue, and it's not. It's from. As a matter of fact, I got it in Thailand. I went to Chiang Mai, and I went up to the mountains, and I visited the tribe. They're called the long neck tribe. So they have the statue has the long neck with the brass around it. That's the other thing. The brass around her neck ties to the brass that I have there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so it's really interesting because they both look like they're African statues, but they're not. And then that goes back to the fact that, hey, Mama Africa. I'm sure there's influence of Mama Africa and everything.
Oh yeah, of course. So what do people usually say when they come into your home? Well, I mean, I'm sure they're blown away.
Yeah,
what do they
first
usually
they say, wow. And then they go, you went to all these countries? So basically, like I said, my house reflects not only the places that I've been to, but the places that I hope to go to also. Because I've never been to Bali. I've never been to India. I've never been to China. But you will find things in my home of all those places. So I like that idea of also not only reflecting what I have experienced, but what I hope to experience too.
It's very aspirational.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's an important thing to point out, is that our homes should reflect who we are currently, but
yes,
also who we aspire to be, where
yes,
we aspire to go,
yes. I see them.
and things that inspire us currently, but also will help us to reach those goals and aspirations.
Exactly.
Um, so that's key. And you kind of answered my last question in that statement. So this is a great time to get into our lightning round.
Ooh, okay.
Marie, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and you tell me the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Question one, what's one decorating book that you would highly recommend for us?
Oh my goodness. I love decorating books. My entire house is filled with decorating books. I joke that I have to move out so my books can live here. I love decorating books. I absolutely love them. But there's one that's going to the top of the pile right now. And it is Justina Blakeney, Jungalow,
Oh,
Decorate Wild.
yes.
Amazing book.
Yes.
Amazing and beautiful to boot, but this is an amazing book. This book, oh my god, first of all, she's the queen of boho. She's the queen. Yeah, bow down to the
Yeah,
queen. And she
she is.
in this book, she talks about the magic of the mix. Could it be any
Mm,
more can
that's
I relate
you. That
any
is
more to
you.
that, the magic of the mix. And she shows you how she has, of course, beautiful pictures of rooms that she has done and how she has mixed. I mean, she's a traveler too, so she mixes it up. She'll be like Italy and I don't know, like Santa Fe or something. She'll like mix all these things. And so it's an incredible book, inspiring, beautiful, just a work of art. Just a work of art. But I also have another book, if you don't mind me
Oh,
squishing it in there.
no,
This
please
one,
do. Please do.
this one is old. This one was published like 2003, but I think
I
the
already
version
know what it
of it.
is because I have
You
it.
have it? I love it.
Yes,
This book is
I do.
fantastic.
Let me see. Oh,
This
it's too
book,
far away, but it's right over there.
Style and Grace, African Americans at Home.
Yes.
This book is your is your show in a book because it's how
Yes.
they live, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It may be old, and maybe some of it is a little bit like dated, but overall is timeless. It has all
Yes.
types of people. I mean, there's a ballerina in here. There's a gentleman who's a collector. Just amazing. It's been really inspirational for me. And
Yes.
I have to mention something else. Just about 3 weeks ago, I was in New York, and I decided that I was going to go visit Vicente Wolf, the legendary designer. I went to his showroom. He happened to be doing a live that morning on Instagram, and I'm like, he's in the showroom. We
Wow.
went from Brooklyn Heights, we went all the way over there, and I met him. And I already had 3 of his books, and I bought the last 2, and he signed them, and it was an amazing experience. And what I love about Vicente Wolf is that he travels the world, and he brings back
Hmm.
items, and he sells them in his showroom, and he also incorporates it into his projects. So his books are incredibly inspirational to me because of that whole global thing that he's got going on. So
So I
I'll
see a
stop here
theme.
because I could keep going with the books. I could just, I'll just stop.
Yeah, I see a theme. The books that relate to travel
Yes,
and mixing cultures and mixing
yes,
patterns,
that's
that's your jam.
that's it. That's
Okay. Okay. Love it.
it.
Out of the places that you have traveled to throughout the course of your life, which one of those places, like what's the place that you think everyone should at least one time in their life visit?
Morocco, Marrakesh,
Mm,
Marrakesh.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Um, you can only live in one environment for the rest of your life. What type of environment is it? Is it beach, mountains, desert, or jungle?
It's tough. I want to say jungle for some reason. I just want to say jungle. I don't know.
That's okay. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Okay. You're having a dinner party. What's 2 people that you would invite?
Do they have to be alive?
No,
Okay. So
no.
it would be Frida Kahlo.
Yes.
Frida Kahlo has to be there.
And she's in your home. You have a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
art.
I
You have
love
a
her.
lot of Frida
But she
art.
has to be there. She has to be at my party. She has to be at my party. Can I get 3 people?
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for
So
it.
Frida Kahlo, Celia Cruz, and Martin Luther King.
Mm. Ooh.
Wouldn't that be interesting? An artist, a singer, and an
I feel like Frida and Martin Luther King would have some
Oh,
interesting
very interesting.
conversations,
Yes.
given their
Yes.
social activism and
Yes.
political views. That would
That
be
would be
very
very
interesting.
interesting. Interesting conversations there.
Hmm.
I may have to.
And the eras in which they were alive, there
Yeah.
were different
Yes.
yet similar things going on.
Yes.
Interesting.
Wouldn't that be interesting? I want to be at that dinner party.
Me too. And I really want to see, we would have to pressure Celia Cruz into performing too.
Exactly.
So just,
It's a given. It's a given. Yeah.
just
She
sing a
has
little
to perform.
something.
Yeah.
And you love, and don't you love, I just put myself in there, like, we are going to have to, I just invited myself to your dinner.
Come on over.
We're going to have to ask
Yeah.
Celia Cruz to perform. Maria, where can we find you online?
Instagram, Maria_Resto, or on my website, maria-resto.format.com.
And do you have any projects or any new things that we should know about or be on the lookout for?
I'm trying to think. No. I'm always just doing stuff at home, just always and helping family members that are always asking me for help in terms of decor. So I'm always doing that. But yeah, just always tinkering at home. I love doing that. It's something that it's funny, my husband jokes around because I have so much decor that I have to switch it out. So I store it in the garage, and when I'm in the garage, he's like, "Are you shopping in the garage again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm shopping in the garage again." So that's what I do. Yeah, it's just something that I love and something that I'm always going to do, and that brings me an incredible amount of joy, and I just have a passion for it.
Well, thank you, Maria, for being here. I could talk to you for hours more about the places you've traveled and traveling do's and don'ts. And I think we're going to have to do a part 2, just so we could dive more into the art of shopping abroad and bringing things home. Because I remember when I went to Ghana years ago, I had to purchase 2 empty suitcases while I was there.
Wow.
Just to get, there were so many things that I wanted just to get the things home.
Yeah.
So we'll do a part 2 and we'll talk more about that just to help people. Because I'm sure a lot of people are watching like, man, I've loved to go here, or I've been to this place and that place, but I wasn't able to get as many things as I want. Because we typically focus on getting pieces for souvenirs for friends and family.
Right.
Where a lot of times I go and I'm like, what pieces can I get to decorate my home? What pieces can I get, obviously, to offer at on the website on my shop, which is a different approach when you're traveling.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. There's so many things I didn't talk about. I went to Cuba and I brought a painting. That's something that you can easily bring back in a suitcase. They take it out of the frame, they fold the canvas, and you bring a painting home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So part 2. Yeah, part 2 in the works. I'll follow up with you on that because I think people would love to know more about that. So thank you for being with me today.
Thank you so much for
Maria.
having
me.
It's
It's been
great
chatting
fun.
with you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. This is How We Live.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And to add more style and culture to your home, shop reflectiondesign.com.